Well, welcome everyone to an NEBC preseason chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by new Georgia Tech head coach Damon Stoudamire. And Damon, you've had quite the path to this high-profile position. I would say at one point I thought, okay, he's definitely going to be an NBA head coach, and you almost were. You're an NBA assistant. You've been a college head coach, multiple places. You've been an assistant coach, and here you are in the ACC. When you take a step back, the 30,000-foot view, how would you sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say judge, but how do you sort of gauge your path to get to this point?
Man, hard work. I would say that. I think I had a lot of different trajectories along the way. And I feel like they all helped me to get to where I am today. And that's one of the things when I quit playing basketball. That's one of the things I actually wanted to do. Now I didn't know why I wanted to do it, but now I see that it helped me on both sides of the fence, and being able to, number one, it's not easy to get a job, period. But to be able to be an assistant in both college and the NBA, and then at the schools where I was assistants at, at the time, it helped me. I learned a lot about winning, obviously, won a lot of games. Coached great players, was on part of some great runs. So, I mean, I think all those moments, when I look back on my, just my coaching career, just forget the rest of it, just my coaching career, man. I had a lot of great moments, but more importantly, I learned how to do this from a lot of great coaches.
And you know what's interesting, Damon, is you had, I know because I've been in both places. I grew up in the Boston area, so I've been a lifelong Celtics fan, know the history of that. I also covered the West Coast and been to Stockton. And I mean, to me, I can't think of two different opposite kind of places, jobs where you really got to do everything at a place like Pacific to where you're at an NBA franchise. You're essentially right there, one of the top three coaches. How do you think those two experiences help shape you to where you are now as a head coach?
Oh man, tremendously. I think being at Pacific, it allowed me to learn how to be a CEO of a program, managing the overall, existence of it, but then not having, a lot of the manpower that I actually have right now. So I learned how to wear a lot of hats. So I know how to do a lot of things. But being in Boston, what it allowed me to do is it helped me put my thinking cap back on, because being in the NBA is all basketball. I worked with a really good staff. 3 guys off the staff got head coaching jobs. We did a lot of critical thinking from a basketball standpoint, and we really, I think, helped each other's trajectory as coaches, and that was big. It was really big for me to see a different way of learning. And first time in my life, I was the oldest person on the staff, so I was learning from a lot of young guys. And I tell people this all the time. One of the biggest takeaways from being in Boston was that I learned a lot. I learned a lot from younger guys too. You can never quit learning in this business, and all of that allowed me to be at the point that I'm at right now. Because although I'm CEO again, this is still managing, not micromanaging, because you gotta let guys work. You gotta allow guys to do their jobs so they can help you be the best that you can possibly be.
How much did wearing those other hats and having different positions in your career, how much did that allow you to appreciate every job that you have to hire for at a place like Georgia Tech, from the Dobo to the managers to the video person, because you've had to work directly kind of with each level within a program / franchise.
It helps. I mean, I respect each and every position. I think that each position that you have on your staff is important. And again, leaving Pacific and not having as much manpower, but then going to Boston and having a lot of manpower, that helped me actually prepare being here. It's like I've been asked, man, you got a lot of people on staff. I'm like, the way I actually do things, you need a lot of people on staff, to help out and do different things. And again, I like empowering guys. I like helping guys become better coaches. I feel like I had that opportunity with the guys that I worked for, and I want guys to grow. I want guys to get better. I want us to be successful for sure. I want Georgia Tech to be the best we can be and have it be a sustainable program and all the good things. But I also want guys within the program to actually move up and elevate, and guys get shots at head coaching jobs at some point. So I really enjoy that process. I love hiring. I try to treat, again, the grad assistant the same way I would treat my associate head coach, because he's just as important. Roles are different, but he's just as important.
Damon, Georgia Tech has consistently had moments, seasons. The knock has been able to stay at that level. I mean, Final Four, one and dones, plenty of them. A couple years ago, Josh won the ACC tournament. So we know it can be done.
Yeah.
How do you make it a consistent winning program in a league that's had a lot of turnover? A lot of Hall of Famers are now out, and there's a lot of room to rise up in these standings.
Well, I think there's a standard that everybody has to reach. I have a standard, and I won't settle for anything less from a basketball standpoint. I think there's a toughness that you got to have, and there's a mentality that you got to have to have sustained success. Usually as adults, I always say this to the team. As an adult, I think, one of my many frustrations with myself, at times would be the inconsistencies, right? You hate being inconsistent. As you get older, that drives you crazy. I needed to drive them crazy too. You want to be able to have sustainable success, but to have sustainable success, you got to have more good days than bad. And when you are having that bad day, somebody has to pick you up, and that'll keep you at the top. You don't ever want to, you start to be a byproduct. The floor starts to be a product of a byproduct of what's going on off the floor. If you're struggling as a team on the floor, and there's probably some things that are contributing to that off the floor. And we want to be a model of consistency both on and off.
Love the staff. I mean, I know Nate Babcock really well. I know Carl. I've known Carl forever, Carl Hobbs. You got a big brand name in Bonzi Wells. I mean, you got a lot of different guys coming from different experience. What can we expect from this first Georgia Tech team under your watch?
Well, Andy, I've always sold low, but I do like the team. I like the way it's coming together. I like the cohesion. It's hard for me to kind of judge it from that standpoint, though, only because I've never played a play as a coach or in the ACC. So for me, regardless of with all the turnover, I don't know what it looks like. And without knowing what it looks like, it doesn't scare me, or I don't fear, but it's hard to know what my team will do. But I'm gonna tell you what they will do each and every game. We won't ever not be, in my mind, the toughest team. We got to be the toughest team every night, mentally and physically, and we won't ever be soft out there on the court. Because to me, some people think that toughness and being soft equate. Now, I think you can be soft and still be a good player. I think you can have a toughness but be soft, but you can't not be either one of them. I believe.
You may not know this answer yet. We're only entering September, but is there any player or players, game on the line, balls in their hands?
I don't know who that will be, but I tell you what, Miles Kelly has an NBA jump shot. Miles Kelly can really play the game. He can shoot the ball. I think that with the game on the line, he's a guy that, I definitely would be trying trying to run a set or get some for him. I mean, he's a capable guy. He played big the last 9 games of the year, so I'm, right now today, even now in late August, I would say, Miles has to be that guy.
All right, last thing. I really believe if Lute Olson had the NIL stuff way back with all the big time talent that came through Tucson in your era, I can't even imagine. Do you ever let your mind wander, like what your group of guys, what would have transpired back then if you guys had opportunities that these young guys got now?
Well, I tell you, it would have. The dollar was probably different, but whatever the equivalent of what these guys are getting now, what that looked like, I mean, we were actually putting in work. I mean, the scary thing about NIL to me is that not the average fan might not even know who some of these college guys are. You got to really be entrenched. Andy Katz might know, but the average fan was. When we played, the average fan knew who Damon Stoudamire was because we were in school long enough to be a household name. And so, yeah, I think about it. I think Arizona might owe me a Mercedes-Benz or something.
Well, Damon, I'm thrilled for you to get this opportunity. You look good. A little gray in the beard, but that's okay.
Oh, man, yes. It's coming.
I've been keeping mine just a little side there, We know it's a long time. I appreciate you, Damon. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.